Hey guys, it's late 20 to 12 on late 14th of October 2014. Just wanted to quickly get on film some correspondence that I've sent to Matt Bush, who is a man that works as the New Zealand Police Commissioner. Tomorrow I'm going to be sending it through registered post to 180 Molesworth Street in Wellington, which is the Police National Headquarters, which I expect will get to Matt Bush. Anyway, it says, "Greetings Matt, please find attached your reminder notices with your reference PV 1653487. I require you to answer the following questions point by point. Question 1. On the evening of 2 September 2014 at 6:50 PM, a man who, when asked by myself, 'Who are you?' identified himself as Constable Neil Winterbottom of Warkworth. See Exhibit J." Now, all the way through the paperwork here I have got photographs of all the exhibits and showing them as I go. So Exhibit J, which is a photo of Neil standing in front of my car. He was very rude and did not appear to understand simple English. When I asked for clarification, he was unable to help, and he even stated, "I'm not going to argue." I found his demeanour aggressive, and after depositing a piece of paper upon property, he then left without answering any of my questions and completely ignoring myself. I attempted to follow him and possibly continue the conversation, however he sped off. Once in a 100k area, Neil proceeded driving recklessly around 45km/h bends on narrow roads, and I was unable to keep up. He had not activated any sirens or lights to indicate an emergency, and I can only assume he was deliberately driving recklessly to avoid any further interaction. See Exhibit E. And Exhibit E is a YouTube link to the recording of me chasing him for 10 minutes. Perhaps he didn't like answering questions. Neil was unable to explain to myself the difference between lawful and legal when asked directly, yet was acting under some legislature, which I, a man, do not understand. At no point had Neil required, see Exhibit C. Now Exhibit C here, okay, is a close-up photograph of the charge in regards to not providing such a thing as a driver's license for him to view or be a witness, or i.e. create joinder between myself and the persons. It states quite clearly in big bold capital letters that it alleges committed an infringement offence on Tuesday the 2nd of 9th at 6:50 PM that you failed to produce your, again not me, driver's license for inspection, being required to do so by an enforcement officer. Now he identified himself as Constable Neil Winterbottom. At no point during any interactions with that man did he identify himself as an enforcement officer. He said it was a request, just a constable. I expect him to be under his oath, upholding the Queen's peace and acting impartial, and Policing Act 2008 section 22, in case you need to know where the oath is that you took, Neil. Okay, if you don't understand legalese, go and ask a lawyer what that act says. Question 2. At that moment in time, Neil had identified himself as you, as well as being a constable. When do you believe Neil had represented himself to myself as an enforcement officer? The entire interaction, along with his dangerous and reckless use of a police vehicle, was recorded and has been posted on youtube.com for public scrutiny. See Exhibits D and E. Okay, and there we just have the 2 links to the YouTube channels for him to have a look at. Question 3. Do you believe Neil's statements and actions were appropriate while acting in his professional capacity? Question 4. Do you believe an infringement is a wrong? Question 5. Do you believe an offence is a wrong? Question 6. Do you believe I, a man, are a person? Question 6b. If yes to believing I, a man, am a person, which type of person? And then I've put in brackets CF, which means confer, but it's meant for him to refer to, not something I understand. So, Confer Interpretations Act 1999, Section 29 and 30, and or confer to New Zealand Bill of Human Rights Act 1990, Section 29. Question 7. Do you believe I am a you? In brackets, CF, a plural. Questions 8. Do you believe asking a question is a refusal? Question 9. Do you believe asking a question is a failure? Question 10. Where do you or New Zealand Police derive any authority over I, a man? Question 11. Do you believe I, a man, to be legally trained or understand any legislature? Question 12. Do you believe I, a man, require a licence to exercise a right? Question 13. Do you believe I owe a debt? Question 14. Do you believe a piece of paper can overrule my natural rights as a man? Question 15. Are you aware that the issuance of your notice by Neil is a tacit agreement to pay up to $10,000 as clearly posted upon, in square brackets, my property? See Exhibit F. Exhibit F is a picture of the notice that is stuck to the inside of my windscreen, front windscreen, which Neil shone his light on and saw. Exhibit G is a copy of the invoice that I have sent to Neil for his orders. Question 16. Are you aware that Neil's orders uttered that day have been invoiced? See Exhibit G. Question 17. Are you aware that I have attempted correspondence with Neil and to return your notice on the 5th of September? However, as I had misheard his last name, the correspondence was returned to me on the 15th of September due to incorrect last name. See Exhibit H. Exhibit H is a photograph of the registered mail envelope returned with incorrect last name, returned to sender, doubled on the little doodad on the 8th of September, showing that they received it 3 days after I posted it. Question 18. Are you aware that I successfully returned my correspondence along with your notice on the 19th September, and the correspondence, see Exhibits B, which is the PCN, G, which is the invoice, K, L, M, N, O, P and Q, which are the 7 photographs of the 7 pages of correspondence that I sent to Neil on the 19th, was delivered and signed for by Celia Snowman at Warkworth Police Station, 6 Falls Road, Warkworth, on the 22nd of September at 8:36 AM. See Exhibit I. Exhibit I, okay, is a printout of New Zealand Post's track and trace records of that registered envelope, showing that she signed for it, whoever she is, some woman. Question 19. Who is Celia Snowman in relation to Neil Winterbottom? Question 20. Are you aware that Neil, to this date, 15th of October 2014, remember I'm posting this in the morning, has not responded to any of my correspondence? I wish and demand to have complete and meaningful explanation for this man's actions, and believe I cannot discuss this matter or any other matter in fairness and good faith with unsettled charges levied against myself or person, in brackets S, persons, because there is more than one type. Furthermore, I wish for these allegations to be discharged, and for you, and whenever I mention you in this entire correspondence, you is italicized, meaning him directly, Matt directly. He is acting as a you. He's acting as a man through his name in a professional capacity, acting as some two-dimensional superhero called a police commissioner. Alright? So that's why he is being the you. Not me, myself, or I. Furthermore, I wish for these allegations to be discharged and for you to cease and desist immediately. Question 21. I believe that Neil, at that moment in time, had no right or authority over I, a man, in square brackets, an equal. Do you disagree, Matt? Question 22. Do you believe I, a man, broke a law? 27. When I asked Neil, do I have the right to remain silent? He stated no. Do you agree with him? Matt, you will also find pictures of the correspondent to Neil marked as exhibits K, L, M, N, O, P and Q in the interest of full disclosure. Okay, and here are the interested things K, L, M, N, O, P and Q. Should you wish to continue any further with this matter and or any other matter, please find an attached fee schedule for my services, products and or time. Have a safe and prosperous day, Matt. Without prejudice, Mark. Notice. I, a man, do not understand legalese, legal meanings, legal terms and or the customs within the legal society. I rescind anything I have said and or have not said, all my actions and or inactions that may have indicated I am other than a man or that I am in any type of jurisdiction other than a common law court of record. I, a man, are ready to settle a debt with any woman or man that I have trespassed upon. Bring the woman or man forward who makes the claim of trespass, and I will compensate that man or woman immediately or discharge this false claims against my persons and I, a man, give no entity known as New Zealand Police and or you the right to administrate property, in brackets my of course. I say that see Exhibit A is my property, and Exhibit A we have a photograph of my private motor conveyance. We'll call it a car, alright? Anything other than a fucking motor vehicle, alright? This is property. This is exclusive to myself and my other property, my wife. You will take note there is no registration plate shown whatsoever on that photograph, because they own the registration plate. If you don't believe me, what do you do when you deregister a vehicle? You take the plates off and you hand it back. I, a man, declare any interference of, for, or with the enjoyment of property, the exercise of rights by you or any qualified employee of New Zealand will be held liable for damages due to injury and or harm resulting from or arising out of any tortuous act, error or omission of the individual, in brackets, trespass. I will require compensation of $1 New Zealand denomination for every second, in brackets, viz moment in time, for any trespass. I say here and will verify in open court that all herein be true. Notice, failure by you, Matt Bush, to respond within 10 days from receipt of this correspondence shall constitute satisfaction of all claims. So, and of course I'm sending back the this one here is, it says, failed to provide your driver's license for inspection without delay after being required to do so by an enforcement officer. This one here says, drove a vehicle. Really? A vehicle? What's that? On a road at a speed exceeding 50 kilometers per hour being the applicable speed. See, I just don't understand any of that shit. You know, do they think I require a license or to be regulated or permitted in some way to travel from one point to another? You know, I mean, I all get being able to control a conveyance so you operate it safely, so you don't hurt others. Of course you don't want to hurt others, that would be wrong. But you don't really need your cock held while you're having a piss, do you? So why should you need that shit for? Okay, this is my fee schedule, so we'll see. Yeah. Have a good night, guys. Sleep well. Much love to you all. Have a good night. See ya.